Hey James, and welcome to our subscribers to another Market Matters video weekly update. We've got some volatility this week. Market's been down a couple of days. It's ripping back today. What's your take? It really hasn't broken out of the range just yet, either side of the trade yet. Volatility is definitely up. What do you think on that, James?
Yeah, you're right, Harry. So obviously we came in yesterday. The Dow was down 700 points. We opened sharply lower yesterday. We rallied from those lows to close down 33, which is a pretty good effort, really. And then today, looking at the screen now, it's about 11:40 a.m. and we're up 100 points. So for now, that 7,200, we flagged today's note that it's touched that point 3 times and bounced from it. So the consolidation pattern, the range for the market continues. My preference is for some more downside. But again, buying weakness has been the play of recent times.
Certainly seems like there's some cash out there on the sidelines to buy those dips. Altium, it's a holding that's sort of done well for us. It's pulled back though. News where there's smoke, there's usually fire. Today, Autodesk has sort of confirmed that they've pulled the bid at 38.50. We were hoping that they were going to punch that a little bit higher than 38.50, and so Altium. It seems like those talks have stalled there. James, are we continuing to hold Altium here?
Yeah, so just taking a step back, we bought that stock at 27. Soon after, Autodesk lobbed a bid at 38.50. It was about a 40% premium to the market at the time. Altium were pretty swift in saying that's not enough. It turns out that Autodesk had flagged $40 as a price. Altium then said that's not enough as well, and Autodesk have put their hands up and said thanks, but no thanks, we can't make it work above that. So I think I thought a higher bid would come. I thought they were going to make a play sort of in the low 40s, $42, $43. That hasn't played out yet. So the stock's down, trading at 33.45. I like the medium term. I'm obviously annoyed that 38.50 didn't play out, and we didn't take our profits then. But I think about the business and think about the confidence management have in the business over the next 6 to 12 months to not sell out. Management have got a lot of skin in the game to not take that 38.50 or 40. They had a $40 bid on the table. It seems. So to not sell out at $40 shows a huge amount of confidence in the business. The market going into this bid was pretty downbeat on Altium's earnings over the next 6 to 12 months. It was a heavily shorted stock. The market's about $12-13 million at the revenue line below where the Altium have guided to. So to me, it speaks to a bit of confidence in the business. Momentum must be strong, so I'm looking forward to their upcoming results. Disappointing in the short term, but I think it's a business going places. So my view is that we should be thinking about our 3% position, 3% weighting, and increasing it rather than exiting at this stage, Harry.
Another one that's had a bit of headwind lately, Crown. They've had the Royal Commission that's pretty much wrapped up. Now that that's behind them, are we looking at this? Are we looking at Crown like we looked at the banks after their Royal Commission a couple of years ago? Is now the bad news behind them? They've sort of cleared the slate and they can start again and look to see the share price higher?
Well, that's the hope, I guess. So, we bought this at lower levels. It copped a bit of flack for doing so. The bid came, it rallied all the way up to $13. I kicked myself for us not selling it as Crown was going into a Royal Commission. We had, a really strong share price, $13. We should have, in hindsight, and hindsight's a wonderful thing, we should have taken our money there going into the Royal Commission. I'll be a buyer again now. We've had a fair amount of questions around this, around the headlines that this is creating is pretty damning. Is Crown cooked here, essentially? Will they lose their operating licence in Victoria, and will they not be granted one in New South Wales? So I just cast everyone's mind back to what happened at the end of the Royal Commission in the bank. So I was hugely surprised, hugely shocked at the rhetoric and the media coverage coming out of the Banking Royal Commission. I think we're at that point in terms of Crown. So I don't want to downplay the issues that Crown has had over the last couple of years, and there's been some huge failings. They have cleaned out management. I would suspect that Helen Coonan, the executive chair, is probably the next to go here, and for that to be the catalyst to then turn that business around. So for me, it's if I didn't own it, I'd be buying it here in the height of negativity, at the height of negative media coverage. I think there's still a lot of value in the assets, and I think they will ultimately retain their Victorian licence and also be granted a licence in New South Wales.
Looks like it is behind them for now, at least. We put out a couple of alerts after being pretty quiet for a long time there. So growth portfolio kicking things off with Santos. Put an alert out yesterday morning, and basically just as that email hit it, word came that they were looking at a merger with Oil Search as well. Just your views around, I guess, Santos has sort of lagged the oil price and then pulled back as it's pulled back in the last few days as well. Where are we sort of targeting with Santos? Only a 3% allocation there as well, James.
Yeah, so 2 alerts, one for Santos, 3% buying with a 650 limit. The other one, Oz Minerals in the copper space, buying 3% below $20. So we didn't get filled in Oz Minerals. We got filled in Santos yesterday. So it came to light yesterday that they had approached Oil Search for a merger back in late June. It's basically the numbers today, it's a 0 premium merger for Oil Search. So Oil Search shareholders, they're probably right to knock it back. Oil Search has got a heap of operational issues. They've got a heap of management issues at the moment. And I think it's an opportunistic sort of play from Santos, but it does make sense. So it makes strategic sense. I think both companies would benefit from the synergies that would be created out of that merged entity. It doesn't make sense for Santos, though, to go too much higher based on where their share price is. So ultimately, I think our play around this was a disconnect between Santos's share price and the oil price, and the fact that the underperformance has been stark, and that is unlikely to continue. I think the energy stocks were pricing in more supply coming online, which OPEC Plus confirmed. So I think, look, I like energy at this point in time. We've got 3% now. If it goes sort of 6.20-ish, we'll increase that to 5%. I think as a medium-term play, the energy stocks look good. Santos is our favourite here, but if you want a short-term play, there's probably Oil Search. We didn't buy Oil Search because I think the downside in that business is more if Santos walks away. I think if Santos walks away, their share price will be absolutely fine. Oil Search would drop reasonably sharply. So from a risk perspective, we bought Santos instead of Oil Search, but I like both of them at current levels.
Certainly, Oil Search has had a pretty strange week with their CEO departing in strange circumstances as well. So plenty of risk around that one, but upside there if they can pull something off. You spoke about Oz Minerals briefly there. Had an alert in there at $20, didn't get filled. Would we look to chase that one higher? Or are we pretty stubborn there at 20?
Yeah, no, I'm just it's trading just in the high 20s today. So my thesis around buying at sub 20 was sort of correlated with our views around the copper price. $4 a pound for copper US is probably our target on the downside in terms of copper. So at this stage, I'm going to hold 5 for Oz below and only buy it below 20. If that changes, so if the dynamics of the copper market, and we wrote a lot this morning just around markets are imprecise, they're imperfect, they don't generally go to our targets and turn around. Santos did pretty closely yesterday to it, but yeah, if that view changes, then we will step up and buy it. 3% sort of a starting position. Again, I'd want to upweight something like 5% in Oz Minerals over time. So yeah, we may play up. Not going to pay up yet, Harry. Probably play out till the end of the month and see how that see how the movements in copper price and Oz Minerals goes until then.
All right, that's all for us today. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Harry. See you, mate.
Yes.